The night air was thick with the scent of salt and the crash of waves. Isla stood on the cliffside, her arms wrapped around herself as the wind swept through her chestnut hair. The moonlight bathed the ocean in silver, but the peace this place usually offered felt distant. Her thoughts were clouded, torn between anger and longing. 2 years. 2 years since Noah had walked out of her life, leaving only memories and heartache. She had heard he was back in town, but she had made every effort to avoid seeing him. The hurt was still too raw. A familiar voice shattered the silence. Isla. Her heart stopped. She turned, breath catching, as she saw Noah standing just a few feet away, bathed in the pale glow of the moon. He looked older, worn, but his piercing blue eyes were the same, locking onto hers with an intensity that made her pulse race. "You shouldn't be here," she said, her voice wavering between anger and suppressed desire. Noah stepped forward, his tall frame silhouetted against the night sky. "Maybe not. But I couldn't stay away any longer." The emotion in his voice cut through her defenses. "You left without a word. What makes you think you can just come back and expect everything to be the same?" He ran a hand through his hair, frustration clear. "I left because I thought I had to. I thought I needed something more than this town, more than us. But I was wrong. You don't get to come back and act like you didn't break my heart." Noah moved closer, his presence overwhelming. "I know I hurt you, but I'm here now and I'm telling you, I never stopped loving you." The air between them crackled with tension. She wanted to scream, to push him away, but as he stood just inches away, she couldn't deny the pull she still felt toward him. "You don't understand what it was like when you left," she said softly. "I spent months trying to figure out why you didn't say goodbye." He reached out, brushing her arm, sending a jolt through her body. "I didn't say goodbye because I knew I wouldn't be able to leave if I saw you. I thought I needed something bigger, but all I could think about was you." Her breath hitched, the heat between them growing unbearable. She stepped back, but Noah followed, his hand slipping to her waist, pulling her closer. "I'm not letting you go this time," he whispered, his breath warm against her neck. His lips grazed her skin, igniting a fire inside her. Isla's body betrayed her mind as she leaned into him. His scent, the feel of his strong arms, it was too familiar, too intoxicating. She turned, her lips crashing against his. The moment their lips met, 2 years of pain melted away. His hands tightened around her waist, pulling her flush against him, his heat searing through her clothes. Her fingers tangled in his hair, pulling him closer, deepening the kiss. His hands roamed down her back, his touch sending shivers of desire through her. "I've missed you," he breathed against her lips, his voice husky. "Every part of you." Her resolve crumbled as his lips found her neck. Her fingers trailed down his chest, feeling the hard muscles beneath his shirt, remembering every inch of him as if no time had passed. "Why does this feel so right?" she whispered, barely audible. "Because it is right," he murmured, his lips finding hers again. "I don't care about the past. All I care about is now, and right now I need you." His words sent a thrill through her. She wanted him, wanted to lose herself in the heat of their passion, but the part of her still feared being hurt again. She pulled back slightly. "Noah, we can't just pick up where we left off." His eyes softened, but his hands stayed on her. "I know, but I'm not asking for everything. I just need to be with you, even if it's just for tonight." Isla hesitated, torn between her heart and her head. But when she looked into his eyes, the same longing mirrored in his. She grabbed his shirt, pulling him back to her, their lips colliding with fierceness. His hands slipped under her shirt, his touch burning against her skin, and she knew there was no turning back. In the moonlit night, with the waves crashing beneath them, they surrendered to the passion that had never left, their bodies entwined as they gave in to the love that still burned between them. Whatever came next, they would face it together. But tonight it was just them, wrapped in the heat of the moment, with the stars and ocean as their witness.